Honorable Deputy Opposition Leader, our question time has already left, so I would not allow for your supplementary. Honorable members, our question time left. Minister for Mining.
Thank you, Mr. Acting Speaker. I ask people of Parliament to complete the answers to the questions raised by the Governor for oral.
Question is that the leave granted. Leave granted. Honorable Minister, go ahead.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. The questions were asked. You allowed the Governor to ask the questions, so I should be allowed to answer the questions. Thank you very much. The first question, just remind members again, is just to confirm whether there is truth in the rumors suggesting that the company known as Nautilus Seabed Mining is planning to return to PNG to engage in deep sea mining. The answer is yes, they are planning to return. Question 2, given the past experiences, Nautilus seabed mining, has the government taken steps to reinforce country's mining laws and policies to protect the interests of our citizens and the sovereignty of our waters? Question 3, what measures have been introduced to ensure the fiscal obligations of mining companies, especially those engaged in potentially high impact activities like deep sea mining, are strictly enforced? These two questions are together or similar, so I will answer them together. Department of Mineral Policy and Geo-Asset Management has addressed some of these concerns in the revised Mining Act. As a matter of conscience and best industrial practice, the Mineral Resource Authority has always imposed conditions in license grants whenever laws or government policies are silent or insufficient on activities that pose risks to environment and the communities. Further, the MRA has introduced Financial Assurance Trust Fund in every mining operation to cater for unforeseeable shutdowns or damages caused by serious failures relating to mining activities. Question 4, in the case of Nautilus seabed mining, can the Minister detail any steps that have been taken to recoup the $300 million that was paid by the PNG taxpayers? What progress has been made, and if not, what are the obstacles? $120 million was paid in 2014 by the state to acquire its 15% equity in Saltwater 1 project. The state's 15% holding interest is registered in the tenement register as being held by Eda Copper Saltwater Limited, or Eda Copper, on behalf of the state of PNG. In 2019, steps were taken by Kumul Minerals and Eda Copper to recoup a portion of the money, $15 million spent to acquire this interest when they filed a claim for its unearned contributions in Saltwater 1 project in Canadian courts supervised nautical liquidation process. The claim in the Canadian courts was rejected because Eda Copper was not a creditor of Nautilus but a partner, as it holds equity in the project, and so the costs were considered sunk costs. Despite the delays in the development, MRA has always ensured state interest is protected and preserved in the tenement, even if there is a new partner. Our 15% equity in the project through Eda Copper remains valid. What the state can do is offload the 15% equity in the project to recoup some of those sunk costs. These are commercial and investment decisions and must be referred to the Kumul Mining Minerals Holdings for their deliberation. Question 5. Are there any provisions or safeguards in place to prevent the reoccurrence of such events where a foreign company receives significant funds but fails to deliver on their promises? Due diligence processes on the economic viability of mining projects are in place, where Department of Treasury and the Mineral Resource Authority and recently the state negotiating team assesses the economic viability of any new mining projects proposals and advises the government on whether to exercise its equity options up to 30% participation of cost in the project. In 2014, the state was advised not to acquire any equity options in Saltwater project because at that time, offshore deep-sea mining project had never been tested and tried anywhere in the world, hence considered highly risky. This advice, however, was ignored by the state. 6, can the minister explain how the government intends to protect our marine environment from the potential adverse impacts of seabed mining? Minister responsible for environment matters or SIPA can be consulted on this. However, all bodies are solid vertical bodies. These bodies will be mined using robots and very high-resolution cameras, which will allow selective mining with very high precision, which may cause negligible disturbances to seafloor and surrounding environments. Question 7, could the minister clarify how the government plans to handle the opposition from NGOs and other groups against deep-sea mining in our waters in the case that Nautilus seabed mining or similar companies intend to start operations? All mining projects in PNG have been subjected to opposition from NGOs and other groups. However, the state team has always conducted consultations and addressed areas of concern amicably in the best interest of the nation and the people. Last question. Can the minister assure this House and the people of PNG that all agreements with foreign companies, specifically those in the mining sector, are transparent, beneficial for the people, and conducted in a way that adheres to our laws, respect our environment, and values the welfare of our communities? As per the Mining Act, all mineral tenements related agreements are registrable items which must be approved by the mining.
The Honorable Minister, just then we have power back. I will ask you to continue on to your reply.
Mr. Acting Speaker, lastly, the Minister, last question, can I do it again? Can the Minister assure the House and the people of PNG that all agreements with foreign companies, specifically those in the mining sector, are transparent, beneficial for the people, and are conducted in a way that adheres to our laws, respects our environment, and values the welfare of our communities? As per the Mining Act, all mineral tenements related agreements are registrable items which must be approved by the Minister, Mining Minister, that is. The Mining Minister is advised by the Mining Advisory Council, MAC, which does these due diligence checks on the agreement to see whether the agreements are in order and have no consequential implications on the state. This process and compliance requirements under the law, in my view, provide sufficient checks and safeguards for the state and our people. The state institutions are set up like MRA, are there to safeguard us and our interests, and we must sufficiently fund them to provide them with qualified people and for them to defend and protect our national interests. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.